Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Q&A session. This is take 2 because I fucked up trying to answer the first question. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, like I said in the last video, that I was going to have, I was going to let the questions sit out about a month if I wasn't going to get a lot of them, which you'd expected I wouldn't be getting a lot anyway. And I do have, fortunately though, I do have 4, and it's been about a month, so I figure I'll go ahead and answer them. So the first question from iDefX, he asks the following. Buddha, just wondering what your thoughts were of EA. The only games I have personally bought from them is the Mass Effect series, and I have loved the games and especially the activity in Mass Effect for things like DLC that a lot of other companies don't do. But most of my friends that are Battlefield fans hate them, saying they are money-hungry assholes and their owners have never played a game in their life. I guess I just want to know if you think that the publishers actually affect the game. So to actually answer the question here, because what happened was during take 1 I gave a whole bunch of background, but I guess at the same time you want to hear my explanations as well. To answer your question, do publishers actually affect the game? The answer is yes, I think they do, especially those bigger companies, or bigger publishers I should say, really get the final say on what to include, what not to include, and how they want to distribute the goods. So yes, I do agree that there are some in EA and other publishers as well that are, money-hungry assholes, because that's what they have to do. It's just making money. It's how you do it. You drag it out. Like Mass Effect 3, of course, the Day 1 DLC, which really pissed off a lot of people. It didn't bug me any, like I said, just because I bought the Collector's Edition, so I already had it without any problems. But I know with Battlefield 3, a lot of people aren't liking that at all. But I also know now everyone seems to be using this this thing called a... what is it? The Season Pass. I know recently the people, I think Activision, not whoever is making Black Ops 2 now, I know they changed from the COD Elite to the Season Pass, as well Borderlands 2 also had a Season Pass. So it seems like this whole thing about paying one lump sum for all of the DLC seems to be better, and in effect, I think so too, just because some of the DLCs, especially, was it Call of Duty especially, it's $10, $5 to $10 per pack. They release 4 packs, it's another $20, $30, depending upon the price. Battlefield 3, same thing. I don't think they're all free. Actually, I think the DLC for Battlefield 3, I thought some of it was free, but again, if you were paying for those as well, that's the same thing, $20, $30. So you end up paying, instead of the $60 game you thought you were going to get, you end up paying $90, $100, $110, in the long run, which of course we don't really think about it because we never, as a whole, I think a lot of people do not think of getting nickel and dimed, hence why a lot of people buy, like apps and stuff on iTunes, etc., so forth. But yeah, so that is my thoughts about that. So again, to summarize my answer, do publishers actually affect the game? The answer is yes, they do, but to the extent is unfortunately going to vary. And let me preface by saying, not preface, I guess this is an afterthought now, I don't really follow video game news. And I really don't know the true relationship between publisher and developer. So if anyone wants to give in their 2 cents, they're more than welcome to, and I'll just agree with them, because I'm not really going to check anything else. All right, the Lloyd369, another common person who likes to visit my channels, thank you, asks, or the Lloyd369, I think I said his old name. How long have you been teaching? When did you realize you wanted to be a teacher? And who is your favorite YouTuber or YouTubers if you watch any? I don't know if any of these have been answered or not. Actually, I don't think they've been answered. I think I've just said in previous videos. So let me go ahead and go through them. So how long have I been teaching? I've been teaching for the better part of 7 years now. My career started out as teaching for one of the test prep companies, which I'm not going to say which one, but I taught there. I started teaching organic chemistry for the MCAT, and then from there it evolved into general chemistry, then SAT, ACT, GRE, GMAT, pretty much almost every standardized test that is out there in America, with the exception of the LSAT. It's the only one I have very little experience in. And what's funny about that, because the place that I'm working at, being a test prep, or for those of you may also know it as a cram school teacher, usually that job doesn't last more than a year, as in most people only work for a year. the fact that I've been there for 7 years is really kind of amazing. I'm one of those, what we call at the company, lifers. So yeah, that was when I started teaching, or how long I've been teaching. When did I realize I wanted to be a teacher? I didn't really realize it. It was never an aspiration of mine. I never thought I was good at it. I never thought I was decent. It was really students, friends, people telling me that I'm doing a good job. Helping people prepare for their standardized tests. And so I kind of ran with it. I was like, well, if I'm as good as people say, let me just go ahead and run with it as a career choice. Because again, much like most people, I don't really have, I didn't know what I wanted to do out of high school. But that's another story for another time. By the way, if you're still listening to this or watching this, as a side note, if you do want any real life advice or anything like that when it comes to school or life, understand that I think for a lot, I'm assuming my crowd that watches me is younger than I am. I'm 28 at the moment, and I think everyone in ranges from, I'll just say, I'll go really like anywhere from like 10 to 25, probably more like 15 to 22, but I don't know, don't care. If you do have any other questions, though, please make sure you ask, because if you really like what you hear and what you see, then I'll be happy to give you all advice in regards to real life and or school. And then aside from doing the cram school teaching, I've also started this semester this year I should say, as a professor at one of the local colleges, not universities, colleges, just to clarify. But which is nice. It's a rough going, which is why you haven't seen many videos from me. This is also why you haven't really seen or heard a lot from me, aside from the Borderlands and old Super Mario RPGs with occasional stuff in between, whatever I can throw in. But I just really haven't not had time. And in fact, I'm going to be doing some grading here in a minute. But and I'm teaching chemistry, like general chemistry for those as well. So that's enough for the teaching question. Who are my favorite YouTubers? When it comes to YouTubers, yes, I do actually watch quite a few, and I don't want to list them. I have a lot in my sub box, but the ones I follow predominantly, I do follow most of the creatures. As I reference them a lot in old videos, and I still reference them today. But mainly, out of all the creatures, who do I follow? I follow mainly Seamus, SSOHPKC. I follow Dan's News, Nova, and Spoon as well. Not as regularly as Seamus, but those other three as well. I don't really follow the rest of them, just those four. For one reason or another. I mean, it's just if I'm interested, I'm great. If I'm not, oh well. Another one that I've been interested, or another person that I've followed, is, of course, because I'm going to forget names, I'm actually going to open up my YouTube here to go look in my sub box and tell you guys exactly who I follow more often than not. So aside from Seamus, Dan's News, Spoon, and Uberhaxer Nova, I do regularly check out Junkyard stuff. Not as often as the other four, but definitely I check him out as well. I also like to check out a big one that I've really followed, I'd say more recently, has been Excalizors. He's really my go-to source for really anything Mass Effect 3 related, because he follows the forums. He does a lot more than I do. And then I guess just to round out the list, I watch, whenever Cameron uploads, like in terms of like smaller YouTubers, Cameron, Miss Lores, those two I follow. And then who else? Oh, I also follow Waldo Dude, Dino Riding Jesus, mainly through, of course, from XCal. Also, another one I follow through someone else is Lazy Canuck. I follow Jason through, I first saw him through Seamus, and I liked what he did, so then I followed him. And let's see, who else do I have on this list? Oh, I also have, Robaz. I do follow Robaz. I reference him quite a bit, especially when playing Skyrim. And I've actually been watching a lot of Rooster Teeth, a lot of the Achievement Hunter Let's Plays. I'm a big fan of those. And the most recent, that I'll tell you right now, and then I'll stop talking about this, is Clash JTM. I saw originally Clash JTM through, again, one of Seamus' Minecraft videos, and I like what he did, and and just went from there. So that was pretty much it. So sorry for rambling, but those are my faves. I'm sure there are others that I missed, and if I apologize, I don't mean to offend anybody, but there you go. Are you going to keep making vlogs? Actually, this next one here is from Ray21425. Are you going to keep making vlogs? And how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? To answer the first question, vlogs, I mean, there's only so much of my non-YouTube life that I want to expose. You know, like, it's one of the reasons why I haven't shown my face or really been around, you know, showing other things. At the same time, there really isn't much of interest, I think, that anyone in the YouTube community would really like, because, I mean, I'm not that big of a YouTuber, obviously, and I don't think that people would really be interested in, like, oh, look, I'm going to work, I'm teaching, now I'm going home. Like, this is what I do now. It's a very boring life. I don't go out. I don't really do much. I don't really have any, well, I mean, I do have some interesting conversations with friends and whatnot, but, I mean, that's, I don't know. And also, a lot of my friends, whenever I try to record, a lot of my friends don't want to be seen in vlogs, so I don't bother. So, unfortunately, you probably won't be seeing that many, if any, anymore. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to stop doing them, but don't expect any in the near future, that's for sure. And the last one, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? The answer is a lot. All right, and then last question, of course, from the Sergeant Bubbles. Will you have Mass Effect 1 out soon, or will you do it after the movie? So, I might as well go ahead and address this. Again, I've said this before in my last channel update, but because of really my immense schedule that I'm essentially working, it feels like 40 hours a week, and I don't really have time to dedicate editing that movie because it takes so damn long to edit personally that it's going to get done at some point. I just don't know when. I don't know if it'll get done even before Christmas now. I really don't know, just because I'm so far behind in my own work. And it just that I had a lot of time before because I wasn't working a lot, but now that I have to do this, it's very, very difficult. So the movie, someday it'll come out. Mass Effect 1, I started playing. I actually started playing a while ago just to get a feel for it because I really hate running those things blind. As you've seen, I get lost. I'm notoriously for getting lost. But, and I'm having fun with the game, but I'm just not, I don't know. I'm just not familiar with the controls as well. It's one of those things I'm trying to get acclimated to the controls, but it's a bit weird, a bit wonky. At least for me, because I'm kind of used to the smoothness of how Mass Effect 3 controls were, also Mass Effect 2. Like I said, the controls, at least for me personally, have gotten better from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3, and I can only assume from 1 to 2, the controls also got better as well. But I'll do Mass Effect 1 someday. I don't know when, and I know I said I was going to do it, but I apologize that I haven't gotten around to doing them yet. But hopefully one day. One day. So, the answer to both of those is I don't know. Alright, and that is it for my questions. See, the video ran 13 minutes or so. May run to 14 as I keep talking. But, yeah, no, it was a good session. So, as always, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments section below. You may also private message me as well. And I think that's it. So, I probably won't do another Q&A for maybe another month or two, or we'll see how many questions, people come up with. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time.